Well, first of all, I'm kind of in shock here. Let me get this straight. You guys went to see Michael Jackson. And I was not invited. I only have one regret. In my whole life, I didn't go see Michael Jackson. This is too much. I'm confused. Okay. I'll try to compose myself. Well, I was asked to speak. I'm going to read this because if you know me well, you'll know that I can ramble for a long time, so I better read it. Stick to my script. I was asked to speak about Diana's love for nature and for travel. But first, I need to tell you how we met. We met in 1981 at a church's New Year's party. I'd been going across the street at a Baptist church, but I want to know what Pentecostals were all about, and I heard they were really noisy across the street. So I crossed the street one morning, I left my purse at the Baptist church, and I went and I was checking it out. So I checked it out, and I got invited to a New Year's party. So we went to this New Year's party, and where am I? And she was there at the New Year's party because she had this thing for the pastor. And I had this thing for the music minister. But we didn't know who liked who or if anybody liked anybody. But as soon as we discovered that we were after different guys, then everything was really pleasant. We became friends. By the end of the evening, we discovered we were safe, and we had our eyes on different guys. So as I mentioned in passing that I lived with my mom, that I was planning to move out sometime. But it wasn't like I was really looking to move out. It was just kind of like, yeah, someday I'm going to move out, but not that I was looking for a roommate or anything, you know. But I didn't know what I was getting myself into. Because after that, she just started to call me every single day to ask me if I was ready to move out. And I tried to explain to her I wasn't yet ready, but she never gave up. It was like, oh my God, it's her again. Okay, she kept on asking. One day, I finally told her, look, I don't have a job, okay, so I can't move out. I can't. She says, all right. She hangs up. She calls me back. I got you a job. I'm like, she got me a job. And it was no lie. She got me a job as a teacher at that school, Light and Life. And now I see she had connections because her father was on the board. So I didn't know that. Well, but still I told her, hey, look, you know, I live in Whittier and the school's out in Monrovia, Duarte or something, I don't know. I don't have a way of getting there. And she goes, oh, don't worry, you can ride with me because that's where I work. And I didn't even know where she worked because, you know, we weren't really friends. And I'm, oh, okay. So a job at the Christian school it was. So then we were, you know, then after that, she decided that, she got us an apartment in Pico Rivera. It's a really horrible place. But anyways, at first, it had, the day we moved in, we get there with my bags. And the truth is, I had to move out kind of suddenly. I had this situation at home, and I thought, no, I got to get out of here now. So between I got the job and I got transportation, and what happened at home, I thought, no, I got to get out. So pack my bags, and I'm like running out of the house, you know. And we get there to this apartment that's horrible, and she doesn't have the key to get in. And we're freezing, it's cold outside. And so finally, like, we break in through the window, because she said we have permission. So, okay, we move in, and there's no heater. And I go, Diana, the heater doesn't work. She goes, oh yeah, it's all right, I will get a jacket. Okay. So, Diana, there's no hot water. She goes, no, they haven't turned it on. And I go, okay, this is going to be rough. Big mistake. But we got closer and closer. So I remember, I don't know if she wants me to share this, but she knows I am a big mouth, so she shouldn't have let me speak if she didn't want me to say stuff. But I would often find her laying in bed with a bottle of something in a brown bag. And I didn't know her very well. I thought, what's she drinking? And I knew we were both Christians, and I knew how solid she was in Christ, you know, but I always wondered what wasn't that little thing, you know. So you know, I kept on seeing, like, once a month, you know, she'd have that little bag there. And then, you know, like, I never asked her. You know, about 2 months ago, Diana, what did you put in that? What did you have in that little paper bag? She goes, well, I had wine. It was only like once a month, like when I had like tummy aches. And I thought, that's interesting. But she, I don't know. I don't know if it's true. But she liked that Manischewitz wine. I think that's what it was.
Why are you looking at me?
I think it was Bailey's Irish Cream, too. Okay. I think it was both. Okay. So now on to the topic assigned to me, which is nature. Well, she loved nature, and I do too. I'm from Costa Rica, so you just gotta love nature. It's genetic, but she loved nature. One summer, she even took a bike trip. You heard about it. I thought it was Kansas, but now I find out it's Colorado. But she invited me, but no. Not in the hot sun. But yeah, she did that. And then she loved the hills, the Whittier Hills. And she was happy that they were protected. She loved to hike the hills. She would often take off with her thermos and just go and look at God's creation. She really got off on that. She would take her camera and take pictures of beautiful flowers and all kinds of little things that she would find up there. And I have a whole bunch of them on my dresser. She also loved geology. We both loved to go to rock shows. And for us, rock shows were just another way of God showing his beauty, you know. And I'm not kidding you, we'd be walking through those rock shows, you know, and Diana and I, we're always like, we have a rock collection on us, you know. And so we'd be walking through these places that looked like malls, full of little boxes with so many different kinds of rocks. It's just amazing. And we'd be like, it was like it was a spiritual experience for us because look at what God did here. And oh, look at what God did here. And we were just looking at so many beautiful rocks that God made. And it was just, it was like being at church with your favorite worship team to see everything there. So we were always into the rocks. Now about travel. Well, she loved traveling and learned about different cultures. Everybody said that. We didn't travel much because right away the kids came along, you three, and my two girls back there. We did take a family trip at one point. We went to the Grand Canyon and we slept on a teepee. That was funny. But anyways, before the kids came along, while we still had peace of mind, we went to Jordan, Israel, and Egypt. She didn't really want to go to Egypt too much, but I did, so then we added that on too. And it was awesome. We were about 23, both of us. And the locals thought that Diana was awesome too, because, I mean, she look at her picture. I mean, she looked like the Bionic Woman. She looked like the Bionic Woman. And she'd be walking, and she didn't dress for the culture. She just kind of wore whatever she wanted. And she with her hair, and and the guys were like mesmerized, you know. It was really funny. They didn't look at me, but they looked at her. The beautiful blonde was the sensation in the Middle East. So one of our most memorable adventures was in Jordan, where we decided to go to the top floor of our hotel. It was probably a no-star hotel, you know, and we could hear the music going really loud, and we decided to go and check it out and explore. So we got to the top floor, and we discovered that it was only a male club. We didn't know that existed because we were just young girls, but it was all just for guys. So we went to the door. We didn't care because we were stupid. We figured out we would be the first girls to go in and hang out. So after begging, and when I say begging, I really mean begging. After begging for a very, very long while, the guy at the door finally let us in, which is miraculous. It was really cool inside. Tables with grapes on silver platters. It looked like an illustration from Arabian Nights. And it really did, you know. It looked like the guys really were dressed with the robes, you know. They had the knives. It looked like Alibaba, and I always read about Alibaba and Arabian Nights. I read that a million times. So to me, that was heaven. So we sat down, and there were some girls dancing on stage. They smiled at us too, and were very, very friendly with us. I guess because we were the only girls there, right? And asked us to go on stage and dance with them. Of course, we went up. She was dancing. Okay, it was a figure, of course, Arabian music, you know. And Diana. is dancing rock and roll, and I am putting a cumbia step into it. At the end, it was really fun. And at the end of the evening, the girl dancers invited us to the room in the hotel. And of course, we said yes. So at that point, we both, when we walked into the room, we realized that the ladies that had been dancing and had invited us to the room where we were at were actually ladies of the night. So we didn't realize that we had been dancing with ladies of the night. But that's okay. They had a room. They had a room with a lot of beds, and because no. That was it was. They had a room with a lot of beds because that's where all the girls lived all together, and they also had many children there that were their own children. So Diana and I, we figured it out, and so it was really beautiful because nothing changed for Diana. You know, I mean, it was always the same thing with Diana. We were there to share Christ, and so we immediately started sharing Christ with these ladies who didn't speak English, of course. And but you know, you can share Christ in any language if you really set your mind to it, and so we did, and it was really beautiful. We told them that Jesus loved them. And I'm sure they got it. The language barrier disappeared. Diana and I were crazy, but we used our crazy adventures to share Christ. After that, we went to our room. We had just turned off the lights when we heard a loud knock at the door. We peeked through the keyhole, and we just about died because there were some scary guys from the club that thought that we were cute, right? And as we looked, they were dressed like, you know, like Alibaba, you know? I have great respect for all people of all cultures. I don't mean to put anybody down, but when I was little, I used to read Alibaba, and they looked just like him. So, and they had the big, they're not called machetes, but same thing, right? We ran into the bathroom. We didn't know what to do. We locked ourselves up. Oh, Mrs. Molina, I'm so sorry I did this to you. You didn't even know how. Well, but fortunately, Mrs. Molina, nothing happened to us. And we stayed in the bathroom locked up. They went away. And that was a real close one. We were really glad. They were pounding really hard. But they thought we weren't there because we just turned off the lights. Whew. Okay. Another adventure was in Bethlehem. We had rented a car. Oh, by the way, they have it in Jordan. Beautiful place. We went to Petra. Awesome. We went to Bethlehem. So we went all over the place, and Diana was a pro because she was into the Israeli thing, and all, she's into that. And so we had rented a car, and she was driving because I don't drive. The street got so narrow that Diana was completely stuck in a street, in a tiny little bitty street. So I squeezed out of the car to direct her, to see if I could get her out of the hole, out of the little narrow space from the front. So I must preface this story with this. In Spanish, when you want somebody to turn, you say the word quebrar. Quebrar is a double meaning word. It can mean to break something, or it can mean to turn. So I translated in my brain, and Diana's in the car, and I'm telling her, break it. And she's not moving. And so I'm telling her again, Diana, break it. She doesn't, what I'm trying to say is turn, right? But I'm saying break it because it's the same in Spanish. Break it. And she doesn't turn. And so then I go, Diana, just break it. And so she accelerates, and I hear her go, and then I see her break the mirror off. And I go, Diana, you broke the mirror. She says, you said to break it. So anyways, I think you might have to be bilingual to get this story maybe. I don't know if you got it, but she broke the mirror. But we had a lot of fun in Israel, and even we met an angel. We believe we met an angel that gave us a sandwich. And in Jerusalem, she was always flirting with all the Israeli guys, and I was always flirting with the Arab guys. It was perfect. In Egypt, We had the time of our lives, but we were both missing our boyfriends in L.A. Dave and Fonz. So we returned a few days early. We did that, yeah. Okay, so yeah, and a little side note, just real fast because I think I went over my 2 minutes. But Diana told me, Marta, I think we should go back because David said he's asked a surprise for me, and I think he wants to propose. And I go, okay. So we get back, and the surprise was that he had washed her car. So I left the land of the pharaohs to see Diane's washed car. Okay, I'm almost done. Diana loved nature and traveling, but I think she loved me more than both. She was the best friend I ever had. She was always there for me whenever I needed her or wherever I wanted, or whenever I wanted to hang out. She is one of the most godly persons I have ever met. The most godly person I have ever met. And I was privileged to have known her and to have spent 34 years enjoying her friendship. When I get to heaven, I hope that we're going to be roommates. And I know, sorry guys, and I know that Diana right now really is running out of control in heaven. And heaven doesn't know what hit it.
Our vocalist needs to get on the road, and okay. I don't know if you want to have people stand and do a 7-thing stretch or something, but we're still going to do that. Okay. All right. All right. I'm sure glad I stood up here the whole time. Oh, my. Thank you all for sharing. Now we know what Diana was doing when she was in the Middle East. So we're going to change things around because we've got Dave wrote a song. No, a vocalist is going to come and share. Come on up.